Hey, hi everyone. My name is Danielle. I'm one of the librarians here at Moore Park College, and I'm meeting with you today just to go over resources for your Psych MO8 class, excuse me. And I'll just be showing you how to access the library resources for your assignments, and really how to get help in the future if you need it. So I'm going to try to keep this quick and painless for you, and we'll just get started. Okay, so this is the Moore Park College website. This is where we're going to start. Go ahead on your own computer, go to mooreparkcollege.edu. To find the library website, you want to click on Menu, and then scroll down until you get to the library link. That's going to be about halfway down the list. And you can just go ahead and click on that. That's going to take you to the main library page. Now for this specific assignment that you have where you're diagnosing a character, I believe it is in a TV show or a movie, I really think one of the best places for you to get started is in the DSM. Now, if we were on campus, you would just come to the library and use the DSM. We have it here, there in the reference section. But since we're not on campus, we do have it digitally, and that's actually a new edition that we just got last semester, thank goodness, right before we went on shelter in place. So to get there, from the library page, you just want to scroll down until you get to the search box. You're going to ignore that for now, and then just go to databases by subject and go ahead and click on that link. This is going to take you to all the library databases. And what you want to be looking for here is specifically psychology, but that's not going to be one of the subject headings. These subject headings are all in alphabetical order. We have it grouped a little bit in a larger heading, which would be social sciences. So you're going to scroll all the way down, almost all the way down to the bottom of the page where it says social sciences. You're going to see some psychology databases, but the one we're looking for right now is called Psychiatry Online. And in parentheses, you'll see DSM, so you'll know that's how you get to it. Go ahead and click on that to open it up. It's going to open up in a different tab. They'll probably ask you for your VCCD login, so go ahead and just log in with your student ID. And then once you get in here, where you want to go, basically, you could either go straight to the DSM library. So you hover over this and just go to DSM 5. And this would be just the text, basically. You would just use this like you would the reference text. I have some ads in here. We talked to the vendor to try and get rid of those, but there's going to be the basics here, but section 2 is really where you want to look. This is going to have the criteria and codes, and then you could just click in any of these to open it up. And then you'll see the entire chapter here. Now, you have the option here to kind of like add to favorites and download citation. There is no option here to just download it as a PDF. They have sharing, but this is really more just to share on Facebook, Twitter, and they'll send you the link. So you will probably have to come back into the database to get the information that you need, but it is always available. It's here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you'll always have access to it. If you're looking specifically for something and you don't really see it in the table of contents, another option that you have is to do a search just up here at the top. So you can type in the topic that we're searching for. Go ahead and run a search. And when you get your results back, they're going to show you a bunch of additional results, and many of these results will fall under the topics of books, journals, or news. With this database, we only subscribe to the DSM library. Sometimes they'll offer us some freebie access to some journals and definitely some news articles. But what you'll see often in these search results when you're searching using the search box is all of these articles that say no access. And that's because we don't subscribe to these other options here with this database. So what you'll want to do is run an advanced search here. And you can again type in your search terms. And then when you say published in, you're just going to want to write in DSM. You have the option to put in DSM-5, but you're going to get some other results back from the Handbook of Differential Diagnosis, Clinical Cases, which are case studies, Handbook on the Cultural Formulation Interview. Those are all considered DSM-5 books. So even if you put in 5 here, it's not going to limit it outside of these results. So you'll have to go through it once you run your search. Let's run our search and look at the source. So right under here, they're going to say DSM-5 clinical cases. So we know it's coming from that clinical case book. This could actually be really helpful to you in the future because it's just going to be actual case studies of the disorder. But in this case, I think when you're doing the diagnosis yourself, you're probably going to want to look at just the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, so the DSM. So you'll want to be looking for that source here. And then in this case, I think I would click on this one, bipolar and related disorders. It's another way for you to get into the results. So again, you could either go straight to the DSM-5 and then look at the table of contents, or you can run an advanced search here, up here, and then look only in the DSM sources. One of the other things is when you are looking at these chapters, they'll have the sections, and then you could just click through to what is helpful to you. So this is DSM-5, and really mainly in this database, you're mostly going to be using the DSM-5 only. Again, you can kind of poke around in the news and journals, but a lot of that we are not going to have access to because we don't subscribe. I think this is probably the best place for you to get started, though. It's definitely in the DSM-5. Now, I'm going to close this out and really briefly talk about scholarly versus popular periodicals. Your professor is asking you to have a scholarly or academic source, and how do we get that? I guess, what is it and how do we get it are the questions. So this is a little table that we have on one of our research guides for psychology that just kind of explains the differences between scholarly sources and popular or general interest sources. What you will find is there are magazines or periodicals that actually produce great material. Time magazine is probably one I would think of. In this case, Psychology Today is another magazine that's considered a popular magazine. And so I wouldn't say that all popular sources are bad per se, but what you want to think about is really the content. So when you're looking at a scholarly source, it's always going to be written by people who are experts in the field. And what is often seen is you're going to see their research, basically, especially in the field of psychology. You're going to see a lot of studies that they're doing, and they will be documenting it. There's going to be data. There's going to be a description of the study and what the outcomes are. And that's very different than the content that you'd find in something like Psychology Today. Like just the title here, Silence Your Inner Critic, How to Stop Beating Yourself Up. Psychology Today is really kind of more touching on just general ideas in psychology, and they're probably writing about it in a much more casual way. And that doesn't mean it's not useful, but in this case, for this particular assignment, your professor is looking to see what an academic source would say, and maybe what kind of research is being done in that area that you could use in your discussion. So this table is here really for you to kind of determine based on what you may find online if you're doing a Google search. When you're in the databases, there are tools that will help you limit to scholarly or academic sources so you don't have to do the guesswork. And that's one of the reasons that we would recommend that you use the databases. But I also think that in general, when you're in databases, you have much more access to scholarly content versus popular. So that's just a plug for the databases. I would recommend you try them out. So we talked about using the DSM, which really the DSM is kind of more of a reference text than it would be an actual like scholarly article, right? To get the articles, we want to go, and you're going to stay in the same social sciences area, but we're looking at EBSCO Psych articles. Now, many of you may have been in like a COM 1A, Communication Studies, or English 1A course before you took this class. And those classes, you know, a lot of you may have come to the library and seen us and used the EBSCO databases, right? EBSCO Academic Search Complete is probably the database that you used. And those are just general databases. So it's a database that covers all kinds of topics and subjects. In this case, APA Psych or EBSCO Psych articles is a database that is devoted only to psychology-based publications. So everything that you find in here is going to be from a psychology point of view. They're going to be researching topics from psychology. So the chances of you finding results that fit your needs within a psych database versus a general database, your odds go up a lot. So I think that you have a very good chance of connecting with material that will actually be useful to you. Whereas if you did this in a general database, I do think that it would be a bit more difficult to get relevant articles. So let's run a search in here. Oh, you know what? The other thing too I want to show you is we don't have to just search in this database. So we're in Psych articles, but you can also click on this Choose Databases link right above the search bar. And that will give you the option to check any other databases that you want to search in. Academic Search Complete is that general database we talked about, right? But in this case, I would also recommend maybe that you click on this Psychology and Behavioral Sciences collection and just press OK. And now when you run your search, you're going to see that both of these databases are listed above the search bar. So you're searching in two databases simultaneously. You can really add as many as you want. For this class, these would be the two that I would recommend. So we can search here, borderline personality disorder. You'll see these autofills come up. You may want to adjust your search based on what you find there. But in this case, I'm just going to do a general search. And when you get your results back, there is going to be the ability for you to limit your search results on the left-hand side. So right now we have 2,891 articles. The first thing that you want to do is check this full text box so that everything now that is coming back you can read from start to finish. You can have access to the entire article. The other thing that you're going to want to do is click on scholarly journals. And that's going to limit to scholarly publications or scholarly periodicals and articles, so that again you don't have to do the guesswork. You don't have to pull the table up and compare and say that is this scholarly or is it not? I don't know. This will help just get all the popular things out so you don't have to figure it out yourself. One of the other things too that you can do is, depending on your topic, you may want to be looking at the most recent research. So you can always adjust the publication dates. Like in this case, we still have some articles that are coming from the 60s. So I want to just click and drag this over so that we're looking at about the last, you could do the last 10 years, you could even do the last 5 years. And you're just going to drag it over and then let go. And that will adjust your results. So now we only have 548 results versus the 2,800 that we started with. I mean, if you want to, you could even limit it to the last 3 years, last 2 years. It really just depends on how many results you're getting back. So then once you get your results, you're going to want to look through them, see if there's any titles that you think would be interesting or helpful. You can click on the title to open the article up, and what you're going to see is a landing page for the article. So this landing page is going to have all the information that you're going to need to cite it for your assignment. There's also going to be an abstract, and the abstract is going to summarize what the article is about, so you don't have to skim through it. You can read the abstract first just to see if it's a good fit to what it is that you need to accomplish in your assignment. If this article is something that you want and you'd like to use for your assignment, there's several ways for you to send it to yourself or share it. You have this Google Drive option. If you click on it, they'll just direct you to log into a Google account, and they'll put in a little EBSCO folder and save your articles in there. Anything that you want to save after that point, after logging into the Google Drive, they'll just dump it all into the folder. You also can email, and just put your email in the email to section, and you'll want to make sure that this PDF as separate attachment is checked, and they'll attach it as a PDF and you can just download it to your computer. There's also a citation tool. When you click on Cite here, they're going to have the APA formatting here for you. Definitely compare it to a style guide. Every once in a while they have some mistakes in this, either punctuation or spacing or something like that. So I wouldn't just cut and paste it into your report. So to actually see the article, there's two ways you can do it. You can scroll down and then you'll see the article in HTML. Sometimes they'll have a table of contents that you can click through to get to where you need to go. But what I would recommend you use is the PDF. So if you click on the PDF link, that's going to open up this PDF version of the article from Qualitative Psychology. And the thing that I think is the best with PDFs is you actually have the page number. So the true page numbers from the actual publication. So when you're citing, doing in-text citations, you will have the page numbers to refer to versus it just being, when it's in HTML, you can't see those things. Toolbar still exists here. You'll just hover over it to figure out what the icons are for, and you can email, Google Drive, or Cite here as well. So I think if you're searching within these two databases, you will have a very good chance of getting what you need. If for some reason you do not get results that you're happy with, you're not finding the material that you need, that's usually the perfect time for you to come and contact us here at the library. So let me just quickly show you. On the main library page, there's a lot of ways that you can contact us. Too far back. And that will be kind of, these new web pages are so big. So you're going to go mostly almost to the bottom of the page, and you'll have the contact information here. You'll want to call the reference desk. The reference desk is available by phone Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Friday, 8 to noon. You can also email during those times, and we can help you through email if you'd like. We have chat and text help available too. The text number, you can text 24 hours a day. If there's not a librarian from Moorpark College staffing it, it would be another librarian from a different institution that would answer on our off hours. And, you know, they're all extremely competent. They know the databases we work with, so they can help you. And I think it's a nice service to have. If you're kind of doing something last minute, late at night, and you need help immediately, you can always use the text. So you just text from your phone, or you could chat. And this chat box will always be here no matter where you are on the page. You're just going to click on it, and then you put in your VCCD email, put in your question, and then start a chat. And someone can help you that way as well. Also within the chat, they have a screen sharing option. So if there's something that you're having an issue with that you'd like to show us, you can always, I think it's actually through Zoom that you would just screen share with us, and then we can assist you in that way too. So those are the ways that we can help you, and we are still, even though the library is physically closed, the librarians are working around the clock just to assist you and give you the help that you need. So please know that we're here. We really want to support you. Also, the library resources are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. that is always going to be available for you to use whenever you need it. And let's see, if I can do a quick plug, and I think that they'll probably be talking to you too, but if you need assistance with formatting your paper, APA formatting, the Writing Center is really what I would recommend you use. You can make an appointment with them remotely and just go to their website. So you would just search for Writing Center up at the top, and then they would have the option here to make an appointment. And it would be a virtual appointment, obviously. The other thing that you could use for your APA formatting is if you go to Google, you can just type in APA OWL Purdue. And this is the Purdue Writing Lab, Purdue University. They have a whole website dedicated to APA style. And when you're in here, the thing that I really want you to see, because they have a bunch of like, you know, APA formatting and style guide. We'll click on that. They'll have basically everything that you need to do your citations on the left-hand side here. They'll show you how to cite anything basically, but there's also an APA sample paper. When you look at this sample paper, you're going to see that they have examples with little boxes that tell you why things are where they are, what kind of spacing you need to use, when you need to bold things, when you need to underline, indent. They'll tell you all of that. And as you go through the paper, they'll explain and give examples of like every parenthetical citation, block quotes, all of that. It's really helpful. And there's also a references or works cited at the very end as well. So I would highly recommend you check that out if you have any questions about formatting. This is definitely a very helpful resource. So I don't want to keep this too long because I know that everybody has things to do, right? So again, we are here to help you. If you need any help at all, you'll just want to be going to the library website. You'll have all the information there that you need to contact us. And also right here under databases by subject, that's how you're going to get to the databases that we went over today. All right, so hopefully this was helpful to everybody. Hope you're all doing well and that you have a lovely fall semester. Thank you.